Y'all know what it is, it's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pot. Cash App, $, usual 50-50. Tickets on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshit on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBDC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect tag.
Y'all know what it is, it's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box for boxes by Cash Apping, $, usual 50-50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20 with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDDC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect tag.
The best grooming colors for you, Yes, so natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. Makeup products that are made for you with high quality. Yeah, so get in style with the black, yeah. Company, you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Sunday morning, April 6th, 2025. This is the post-fight show part 2. Probox TV, Dazn, and Amazon Prime and ESPN, where we had another day chock full of boxing. I mean, this is becoming a habit, a quite pleasant habit, where we get a chance to watch so much boxing till if it's something that we don't want to see, we don't have to tune in. But culminating with another day of full cards, some overlapping, but some others playing out in a timely fashion. I'm not going to hold you guys too long this evening, but I just want to come in and talk about the cards that we had a chance to enjoy this evening. We finally had the broadcast of the Probox TV event, and it was headlined by Salas versus Cruz. Now, though I didn't watch this card, I will be going back to review it. I am aware of the outcomes. So I'm not going to talk about it because I haven't witnessed it, and I would rather go into more detail after I've witnessed the bouts and the outcome. But overlapping with that was the Richard Torres Jr. Guido Vianello fight, the Battle of Heavyweights on ESPN. It's a card and matchup that many people were looking forward to. And though it started out a little bit rough around the edges because there was a lot of grappling and holding, particularly by Vianello, who does not know how to fight on the inside, he's almost as bad as Lawrence Okolie with his holding and grappling and tying people up. Mr. Octopus Part 2. Yeah, that's who he is. But salute to Richard Torres Jr., who managed to earn a unanimous decision out of his efforts. I'd like to speak about Mr. Torres Jr. in more detail because I personally believe there are aspects of his fight game that require attention immediately if he's going to get any better. And it's a simple fix, but if they do not opt to take these things into consideration, things will be short-lived for Richard as far as being at the top class of the heavyweight division. I understand that his dad has been with him, training him, but he needs a polished, experienced boxing trainer, someone who has worked with heavyweights for years, that can assist him in being able to compete against styles as well as negotiating the range of fighters who happen to be a bit taller and have reach that he's just going to run into, because the heavyweight division have men who are nearly going up against 7-footers nearly. So he's going to have to learn how to fight those type of fighters. And I don't believe his dad is going to be able to help him with that. But there are some veteran coaches and trainers out there who can assist with that. And I'm not saying that they should replace his dad. No. But he should enlist the services and assistance of more capable and more experienced people because of what he's going to have to contend with. The fight started out with Torres taking the fight to Vianello immediately, and Guido did not handle it well at all. And his punching power is real, people, talking about Torres Jr., because even in not being able to land cleanly on Guido, he hurt him during this 10-rounder on several occasions, and the hurt that he showed was almost a revelation of being somewhat caught in awe, because maybe he didn't expect Torres to be as strong, which is promising for Torres. But you need assistance with how to deliver and create openings. He's going to have to do that in order to remain successful. So, by the second round, we saw Guido having a point being deducted for his holding. And it looked like it might turn into one of those ugly situations. I remember when Lennox Lewis battled against Henry Akinwande. Akinwande was DQ'd for holding excessively. The man just did not come to fight. He was so afraid of Lennox, it was ridiculous. I had never seen a fighter hold and grapple and tie a man up as much as Akinwande did on that night, and he disgraced himself in that fight. Nothing to be proud of. After Torres got a little fatigued, we're talking maybe rounds 5 or so, Vianello was able to have some success, throwing some punches and combinations, finding a better range to get his shots off, but he wasn't able to sustain it enough to make a difference in the fight. It's really interesting when you watch these fighters and you can see where they are not polished. You can see where their shortcomings are. And it's like, wow, it's amazing how many men are able to achieve title status without having full arsenal or a full toolbox, as we say. I just believe that we require so much entertainment that people are being dismissive of the fighters who have these shortcomings. And I can't overlook it. I have to speak on it. But there's a handful of fighters who really have something going on. For an example, Abdullah Mason. The young man is very good, very promising. And his opponent this evening, Carlos Ornelas, was a late substitute, but Mason is so engaged in trying to get out there to get the job done that sometimes he leaves himself vulnerable, but not to the point of losing, but where he can possibly get caught with something and maybe suffer a cut or even get knocked down or something like that. But he works very hard at trying to impose himself on his opponents. And Carlos was a willing partner this evening. He tried to fight as hard as he could. He tried to be brave. He ended up taking several knees during the fight. And finally, the fight was stopped, leaving Mason with a 6-round TKO. A great night out for Mason, but you could overhear his cornerman and dad yelling instructions to him about keeping his hands up in proper position and everything, because he was so looking to get after his opponent. It's okay. He's only 21 years of age. I guess today was his birthday. He won a fight on his birthday, which was amazing to see that. But there will be tougher nights in the future for Abdullah Mason. And we can't wait to see those challenges, because he's growing at such a rapid pace. Challenge is what's required for this man. We'll take a quick moment to go to the chat and see who we got in the building. Got a few of you guys out there. I know people are all over the place this evening because the boxing programs were all over the place this evening. Universal Truth first in the building, saying salute Sensei. King Styles Productions out there saying salute. DLP in the building. What's good with you? Steph Brown is out there saying be well, Stormybman. Salute our chat family who's in this late evening, solid day and night of fights. God be with you, brother. Thank you, sir, and same with you. He says hit the like button, please, viewers. Chilltown Majors is out there, back with us, saying chat salute. And Steph Brown says, I like Abdullah, but he needs to find patience with his punches. Let the fight come to you, I thought. Well, boxing is not a sport like basketball, Steph Brown, where you let the game come to you. You let the fight come to you in boxing, and the fight could be over very fast without you even getting warmed up. So no, you don't want to let the fight come to you. But I do understand what you may mean. You may mean that he may not want to rush things. I think more in terms of him hurting his hands than anything, because he throws everything very hard. He just, everything is bad intentions. It reminds me of Julian Jackson when he was in his perpetual youth. But he's got to have more control and discipline over himself in that regard. And it will come. Like I said, he's only 21. This is the first day that somebody could buy him a drink after his success. Not saying that they should. I'm just, making a connection there with his age now. So, Queen 71 is in the building. What's good with you, Queen? She says, true, all of Mason's shots were at the same speed. We were trying to watch 3 cars at almost the same time. I know, Queen, it's like, wow. And I feel a little fatigued behind all of this, primarily because everything's happening so fast. You're trying to cycle through the cards and see the important fights, right? Or the main eventers and stuff like that. So it was really, kind of nerve-wracking getting through that like that. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight after this, I'm going to tell you. Brother Code 10 in the building. What's good with you? Steph Brown says, find some cadence, learn how to throw different punch styles and speeds. Sort of what I meant. And I agree too. Yeah. You know, the thing about it though, the way that Mason fights, it could be very intimidating to his opponents. So you want to keep a certain edge like that. Not that you want to just be intimidating people, but when intimidation comes into being a factor, it gets a lot of the work done for you psychologically, believe it or not. So we once again ran into some bad decisions on this evening. The fight that took place between Lindolfo Delgado, former Olympian, and Elvis Rodriguez ended up with a majority decision for Delgado, when I felt like Rodriguez had won the majority of the rounds. But Rodriguez and his camp only have themselves to blame because they did not take any urgency into that fight, which they needed to do, because you know that Delgado was the guy that was being pushed and had a great deal of support behind him. But you can see the talent of Rodriguez was definitely more dynamic. And it was very unfortunate that he lost that decision, but he needs to go back to the drawing board and know what it means to assert yourself, because he was obviously the heavier puncher in the fight. And if they couldn't figure that out in 10 rounds, they're not going to go anywhere beyond where they went tonight. Because I could see in that one round when he finally, what was that, the 8th round, when he finally landed a shot on Delgado that rocked him and knocked him sideways and everything. I was like, I've been waiting for that, just for you to step into your shots and get busy. And he just only then did it in that round, and even in the next round didn't come out to try to test and see if the guy's heart is willing to stand up. If you don't take the chance, you don't know what can happen. I'm so sick of these guys. And it's almost a culture thing of this present day crop of fighters. A lot of these guys are half-assers, man. They really are. Hendog, the fearless one, what's good with you? PGH Big Dog, what's happening? Steph Brown is asking, I was going to ask you, Sensei, it's different in there, given what we're pointing out with Mason. My question is more of him still learning on the job and why he puts everything into it. Listen. He's young. 21. He's got a lot to learn, and he's not going to learn it in 1 or 2 fights. But where he will excel is if they put him in with different types of styles and different types of personality tropes, because the personality tropes will give him something to challenge himself, like a guy who's not going to go nowhere and be there all night long. A guy that won't engage, so he's going to have to impose or force himself on that guy. Or if a guy is real slick and can set traps and things of that nature, he's got to learn how to deal with that. See, this is why matchmaking is important. Not just lining guys up for you to knock out, so your knockout ratio and percentage is high. You saw a great example of the knockout ratio situation earlier in the evening with Dazn, when David Alalaye took on that guy what was his name? TVK. Jamie TKV. I said TVK. TKV. Jamie. All they did at their presser was continue to talk about who was going to knock the other out. Knockouts have to be set up, people. You don't just go out there and throw a punch and land and the guy goes down and that's it. You know, you have to set knockouts up. And a lot of guys today don't know how to set knockouts up. And when you look at the fight like that took place between Philippe Hergovic and Joe Joyce, those two men were like rock'em sock'em robots out there, right? But they were punching each other pretty damn good, but nobody was going anywhere. You know why? First of all, they were both terribly out of shape. Secondly, neither of them set the pace for a knockout to take place because they didn't put the work in. And there's a lot of that going on in the sport of boxing today. To the degree that boxing looks bad. I'm just a little tired of the poor aspects of the sport of boxing. Because the decision with Rodriguez and Delgado, it was close, but I had Rodriguez winning. But there was a featherweight bout on ESPN. Albert Gonzalez against Dana Coolwell. Coolwell won that fight, people, and they gave it to Gonzalez, who was out of the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. Listen, Gonzalez did not win that fight. He did not win that fight. A horrible scorecard was read for the final of that. And I was like, you know what? It's that very thing that is really hurting the sport. What would Gonzalez incur if he lost that decision? Aside from having his feelings hurt a little bit. But to award that man the victory, instead of him losing tonight, he'll lose another night. And they're going to try to avoid boxers. Because Coolwell boxed him so well. And don't forget that Coolwell had fought Shushu Carrington. But he boxed the dickens out of Gonzalez. And he should have got that victory tonight. I hate when boxing does that stupid stuff. And that opening match between Steven Navarro up against Garcia, man, listen. Navarro looked pretty good. 4th round stoppage. I would like to see him again. And of course, even earlier we had Jahai Tucker, who had been talking about he wants to get in there with Janabek. After watching Janabek tonight, and that guy Anuel is more spirited than and physical than Jahai Tucker. I believe if Jahai Tucker gets in there against Janabek, he gets smoked like a pack of Black and Miles. Yeah. and mashed into the ground, like when you finish puffing on the last drag. You throw it down and you mash it on the ground. That's going to be Jihad Tucker. Darius Gilliard, what's happening with you? I see you out there. So, Tim Zoo, Joey Spencer. What in the world was that, people? Did we just watch Joey Spencer go all the way over to Australia just to bend over and let them take his manhood? Joey need to sit down somewhere, y'all. Joey need to sit down somewhere. And Tim Zoo ate up the crowd adulation and the announcers and everything. He appears to be a show over there. And he does it every time he fights over there. This false sense of bravado and everything. But that's okay. That's his country. That's how they celebrate him. But Tim Zoo ain't for real, you guys. And you could thank Bakram Murtazaliev for that, because he ripped the skirt off of Tim Zoo and we saw the garter belt and the laces. Yeah. Yeah, I've watched enough of Tim Zoo over there. I don't want to see that anymore. But Joey Spencer need to go sit down somewhere. Coming in with that creepy looking goatee and everything. I mean, really? Joey, go somewhere and water somebody's lawn or something, because you definitely ain't getting it in the boxing game, bro. Sit down. You only get one chance. When you lost to Jesus Ramos, people were like, okay, maybe it was a step up too quick. But after this, no. Boxing is an unforgiving sport. And we don't forgive you for going over there and showing up like that. Which you didn't show up, actually. And you guys notice that when Tim Zoo fights over there, his fights usually stop between 5 and 6 rounds, something like that. If you can't see the play with this guy, man, it's ridiculous. Queen 71 says, I got Keith Thurman stopping him. He very well may. He very well may there, Queen 71. T. Berry in the building. What's happening? It was not a, The Joey Spencer performance puts a real sour taste in your mouth because he was boxing early, then come that fourth round, he was letting Tim hit him. And I'm like, wait a minute, where'd this plan come from? Could it be more obvious that you're gonna take a dive? He might as well have yelled to the crowd when he got in the ring, hey y'all, I'm going in 4. I'm just glad that that part is over. But we have a lot to deal with. We got a lot to deal with. Yeah, Joy, you right there, Hendall. Joy took a dive so deep, I thought I was looking at that dude from the Olympic team, the swimmer. What's his name? The young man that was the swimmer, the gold medalist. Jimmy Bernard, what's happening with you? Yeah, DLP, wasn't that creepy? It was like you look at that and you see what he was doing. It's like, wait a minute, who somebody with some dark shades on flip the light switch or something? Yeah, Michael Phelps, Hendall. That's the guy, Michael Phelps. Yeah, but Steph Brown, Tim Zoo is a hype machine. And his hype is in Australia. You take him out of there, and he's as plain as butternut white bread. He's no, nothing special. Yeah, they really, I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, Jimmy Bernard, he's fought in the States. That fight with Murtazaliev was here in the States. He took his beating right here. See, Murtazaliev put it on him the way you're supposed to. I knew Joey wasn't going to do that, but I mean, man, Joey was at least, he was boxing and surviving. But then when he flipped the switch and started letting Tim tee off on him, I'm like, what is this? Man, if you don't sit your behind down somewhere. But yeah, it was interesting, man. It was an interesting night of boxing cards. And I'm going to tell you, I got to do a call in the morning, so I'm not going to hold you guys, tonight. It's already midnight, and watched a lot of boxing. But tune in to the call in and support the show, and we can talk about these things in greater detail. Give me a chance to get a little rest, some beauty sleep, shut eye, and I can come back, refreshed. Because there's a lot, man, that I try to watch a little bit of that Probox card before I drift off. But then I'll be able to talk about that afterwards. But yeah, we're going to hear from my man, the Focus Ball. Yeah.
Get ready. Your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah. Get you some of that merchandise, man. And I know it might seem like I was very abbreviated this evening, but I just didn't want to go too late into the night because it's already after midnight, you know? And I'm trying to be a little more mindful with you guys about that. When the fights end earlier, we can, you know, talk a little longer in more detail. But also, when they're overlapping these cards like that, it kind of takes things in a different direction, so got to be mindful of that as well. But I appreciate everybody that came out and wanted to hear a little bit of what I had to say about the matches. Joey Spencer, go sit down somewhere. Guido Vianello, go sit down somewhere. Jahai Tucker, go sit down somewhere. Elvis Rodriguez, go sit down somewhere. You know, these guys need to get their acts together. Joe Joyce, go sit down somewhere. Philippe Hergovic, go sit down somewhere. David Adelaye, go sit down somewhere. And Jamie TKV, go sit down somewhere. Huh? All of y'all. Shit. But next week, you got Boots and Imantas Stanionis. So you guys know you got a lot to prepare for next weekend. Some good boxing. We're in the midst of this thing now, so let it be said. It is what it is. But I'll release you guys on into your evening. Have a wonderful Sunday. And we will catch you on the next one. Shout out to the mighty LDBC.
I'm 23. Too bad.